Hi, and welcome to the UTRGV School of Music 2020-2021 TMEA All-State Etude Clinic. I'm Dr. Jared Broussard, and I teach trumpet here at UTRGV. I'm thankful that you're watching this, and I hope that the information that you receive from this video will help you better prepare for your upcoming TMEA region, area, and all-state auditions. If you have any questions about trumpet and the trumpet studio here at UTRGV, or if you have an interest in becoming a music major and would like to audition for the School of Music, please contact me at jared.broussard@utrgv.edu. That's jared.broussard@utrgv.edu. You may also go to the School of Music webpage, which is utrgv.edu/music, and click on the button that says Academic, and then click on the button that says New Students. On that page, there will be a link to a UTRGV audition form that you can fill out. Again, thank you for attending this clinic, and I want to wish you all the very best of luck with your upcoming auditions. Thank you, and let's move on to the Etudes. Etude number 1. This etude is in D major and is marked con fuoco. What does con fuoco mean? It means with fire. It's fiery. It's spirited. It's exciting. We want to convey these words, these feelings, these ideas of being fiery and exciting through the way that we're going to play this etude. You want to play with firm articulations, okay? That firm articulations means pretty hard tongue. Not as hard as you can, but we want it to be firm. Okay. Now, if we look at the top, at the very beginning, it's eighth note equals 140 to 152. I do personally think that it lays better at the 148 to 152 range, but you can play 140. The idea is that we want to play with great musicality and play with some accuracy. One of the things that if you look all throughout this etude is that there are a lot of jumps. It's not very scalular. The notes aren't right next to one another. They jump around. They jump up and down, and they skip notes. All right? And so we want to make sure that we're playing very linearly, that we're, instead of going up and down, which is what you actually see between notes, that the phrase is still moving across the line. You want to pick a beginning point, and you might want to pick an end point and maybe crescendo all the way to it, or crescendo and come back down. It depends what you want to do. Now, as we look at the top in the very first measure, we see that there's a technical thing. We have D, A, D, A, F sharp, D, F sharp, D in the first collection of notes. Now what happens there is mentioned on the TMEA website, and those are all cross fingerings. And what cross fingerings are is where the fingers move contrary to one another. So D, A, F sharp, D, F sharp, D. The second and third valve are moving in opposite directions at the same time. That can present some technical issues and just some hindrances in our playing because cross fingers is a little difficult, okay? Nothing to be ashamed of or no worries. The way you work that out is through very slow practice. Practice it really slowly. take the first measure and a little bit out of context. Just play the notes. Slur them. Play them as quarter notes. D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A, D, A. You get faster as you get better at it. And then do F sharp D. F sharp D, F sharp D, F sharp D, F sharp D. And you get faster as you get better at it, okay? Now, after slurring it, then you can flutter tongue. Flutter tongue is where you roll your R while playing. If you can't do it, try and growl. But the idea is to get some air through that technique. And that's what flutter tonguing helps you do, okay? Then once we're doing that, then let's start tonguing lightly. Not hard yet, lightly. Make sure that you're getting good air and the notes are connected on the light tongue. And then as you get faster, you can harden up the tongue a little bit and it'll make it a little bit easier to play, okay? As you notice, and I said before, the notes jump around a lot. We talked about linear playing, okay? The linear playing will also help you play more accurately, believe it or not. If you're trying to focus on up and down, more than likely you're going to miss a lot of the higher notes or just miss some of the larger intervals. So you want to make sure that you're playing linearly and you're playing for accuracy, okay? Honestly, the secret to this one is just to start it slowly. Start practicing this slowly and practice in small chunks. Practice in 4-measure spurts. A lot of this is phrased in little 4-measure groups. And what I would do is I would practice for accuracy, practice slurred, and then go faster and do the correct articulations, which is to tongue. Now, another thing that we can do, music that would help make this piece be much more musical, is to pay attention to the extreme dynamic contrast. At the very beginning, it starts off forte. In measure 16, beat 3, we get a piano. Okay, so make sure that as we're coming down measure 15, that D major arpeggio, we land on the quarter note D, take a breath and quieten up. Okay, get it real quiet and keep the tempo going. A lot of people tend to want to slow down here once they see that dynamic change and they kind of relax a little bit. It's fine to relax the energy, relax the volume, but make sure that we're keeping the tempo going. And then a few measures later, we get to that spot where we talk about the diminuendos that happen at measures 21, 22, 29, 30. Measures 21, we have a high G going up to a high B natural, and it's slurred and decrescendoed, right? So what I would do is I would not try to get too quiet, okay? We still want the high B to come out. But what I would do is I would use the back of my tongue. I'd go from an A to an E position, moving from G to B natural. I would make sure that it's going up like that. All right, the tongue helps with the back of the tongue helps with the lip slurs. And also, when you're playing after that, make sure you're not playing too loud. Okay, just keep it going, keep it going. All right. Now, mixed within these measures, 21, 22, 29, 30, all the stuff that's in between are these dotted 16th note, dotted 16th note, 32nd note rhythms. Okay, we want to make sure that we're playing them correctly. A lot of people will want to tripletize it. Play it da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. But there are 4 notes in a dotted 16th, 32nd note rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da 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 da. Okay, and that's slow. If we're going to go at tempo, da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay? So make sure that you're keeping tempo, not slowing down, as mentioned before, when it gets soft, but also once we get to the dotted 16th, 8th note, dotted 16th, 32nd note rhythms, we want to make sure that we're not slowing down. Okay? After that, measures 37 and 38, we have something called a diminished arpeggio. What you see is F natural, A flat, F natural, D natural, B natural, A flat, F, D, B natural, G sharp, A. That is a diminished arpeggio, okay? You can find those in the Arben's book and practice those studies. And you just want to make sure that it doesn't scare the pants off you. It's really easy. It's all intervals of minor thirds, okay? You want a crescendo there, but not too much, because at measure 39, it's marked only mezzo forte. We want to get back to a little bit louder, having a little heat in the tone, and tongue a little more firmly again, but not too much. We don't want to play too loud, okay? What's happening at measure 40 is also we see F natural, so we're going to the minor mode, okay? And that also, we also see some F naturals in measure 47, and then in measure 49 we see B flats, okay? Also, again, D minor, we're showing off D minor. And then we have something that's quasi-chromatic that leads us to measure 55, where we get back to the major mode, okay? So this whole minor section, measure 39 to measure 55, is mezzo forte, and we don't want to get too loud until we crescendo into measure 55. Measure 55 is the return to the major mode, and I want you to notice that it's pretty much the same as the beginning, with the exception of measures 67, 68, 69. It's the end of that phrase, and at the beginning, measures 13, 14, 15, they're different. So make sure that you're actually reading the music, paying attention, because the measures are different. Again, the overall theme of this is make sure that you're playing in a very exciting manner. You're playing with fire. You're playing with good, firm articulations. Not too hard, but firm. We want to make sure that we're hearing that ping off the tongue. And make sure not to play too short. Full-length 16th notes. Keep the dotted 16th, 32nd long. Make sure that you're playing true dotted rhythms and not tripletized rhythms. And do make the big dynamic contrast between the forte and the piano. Good luck and happy practicing.